Hi guys, and welcome to the second video in my playlist of how to script in Roblox Studio. Today we'll be looking at variables. Now variables are really fun as they are powerful and dynamic. It means you can create something and then change it very easily. You should think of variables as containers of information. This information comes in different types, such as strings, booleans, and numbers. There are more different types, but these would be the ones that you would normally use within a Roblox game. Right now I've got an empty base plate with a spawn location and floating green block in it. Now, say that I wanted to make this block blue, then what I'd do is I'd add a script to our workspace and set this block as its location to a variable. So to create a variable, first you'd want to type in local and name your variable. So this variable will be named block. And what local means is it does two things. One, it says that block is a name of a variable, and two, it means that it's a local variable. And there are also global variables, but we might talk about that some other time. So after you typed in local block, you can select what block it is equal to. And I'm going to say workspace.part. So the part is now set as a variable. Now, instead of saying workspace.part.brickColor, now all we need to do is say block.brickColor. Oh, whoops. Block dot brick color is equal to brick color dot blue. So if we run this, then the block should change to blue. That's good. So we have just made a variable, named it block, set the variable to this part, and changed the part's brick color using the variable. So now let's talk about strings. Strings are just text. You could write them in a script with brackets and quotation marks around them. So I'm going to make the name of my channel into a variable, and to do this we can say local name. So the name of this variable is name, and we're going to set name to Matthew Makes. Okay. So if we use the function print name, then as we've set name to Matthew Makes, it will say in the output Matthew Makes. So if we run this, in the output Matthew Makes will appear. Good. Okay. So now we'll talk about booleans. Booleans sound complex, but they're not really. Boolean is just saying whether something is true or false. So we're just going to go back to our block variable, and we're just going to say block dot anchored is equal to true. And right now our block anchored is at false, so if we run this, then the block's anchored will set to true, and therefore it will stay floating in the air. We have just used a boolean, and the boolean is the true part of that line, and the block is floating in the air. Good. Okay, so now we're going to create a new variable called number, and we're just going to say local num is equal to 4. So now we've created a variable which is called num, and it is equal to 4. And we're also going to create another one, local num other, and we're going to make num other equal to 6. So down below, if we print num add num other, then it will add 6 to get 10 in the output. So if we run this, then you will get 10. Good. Roblox Studio can also do other types of maths, such as minus, divide, which is a /, and times, which you would use a star. And now we're just going to do a little project to show you how you might want to use variables to make a traffic light. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our base plate, and we are going to build a very quick model of a traffic light. So we're going to set the material to metal, and the color to this grey color, and we're going to insert a part. This part will be 1 by 8 by 1, and we're just going to lift that slide onto the ground. Good. We're going to insert another part, and we're just going to drag that part on top. Then we're going to use the move tool to move it to the center, and we're going to use the scale tool to move it in to the good. Okay, so now we have a traffic light, but now we need the lights on it. So I'm going to insert a sphere. I'm going to make this sphere a red color and material of smooth plastic. I'm going to drag that there. I'm going to scale it down a bit and put it there. And we're just going to move it slightly into the traffic light. If it isn't moving in, then your collisions will be on, and that means that it can't move into the traffic light. It'll just go straight past it. So remember to turn collisions off and move it in. Now we're just going to keep it selected and press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and then move the duplicate down, and then press Ctrl D again and move that one down as well. Okay. So now we are just going to set this to this color to amber, and this one to green. Green. And we're going to insert a script into our workspace. And we're going to call the script traffic light script. Okay. In this traffic light script, we're going to set some variables, but first we need to group our model together into a so it's all together as a model. What's this do? Okay, that's fine. So we're going to select everything which is in our traffic light, and we're just going to press Ctrl G to group it together, and we're going to double click on the model to rename it, and I'm just going to call it traffic light. And then we're going to select the parts which are the lights, and we're going to group those together, and we're going to call this model lights. Okay. So now we've got a model, and inside there is a couple of parts which are the base of the traffic light, and we've also got lights which are the red, amber, green traffic lights in there. We also need to label this as amber, this as red, traffic light, red light, and this can be green light. Okay, now in our traffic light script, what we're going to do is we're going to set some variables, and we'll call the first variable local red light, and red light is equal to TrafficLight.Lights.RedLight. Okay, and then we're just going to copy this and paste it a couple of times. And then we are going to set this one to amber, and this to amber, and this to green, and then this to green. Okay, good. So now I've got three variables, one being the red light, amber light, and green light, and this means that we can just refer to them without having to put workspace.TrafficLight.Lights.RedLight before every time we use the red light. So then what we're going to do is we are going to set each of these materials, which they have, to smooth plastic, so that if we start script and there's any glitches, and it won't start off say with a different material. So we're just going to say RedLight.Material is equal to Enum.Material and then we're just going to call it smooth plastic. Then we're going to copy this and paste it a couple of times below, and we're going to change this to amber and this to green. By the way, the script will be in the description of the video if you don't have to type this all out, and that's absolutely fine. And then we're going to create a loop underneath this, so while true do. And if we press enter, Roblox will automatically put an end to the loop. And then we are just going to copy this and paste it a couple of times. Then we're going to copy this and paste it a couple of times. And we're going to copy this and paste it a couple of times. So, now we need to change this to neon. And this to neon. Neon and this to neon. And I'll talk through what this loop is doing. So the first thing is it's setting a whole bunch of variables, red, amber, green, to this location in our workspace. And it means that we can just refer to them without having to say workspace.TrafficLight.Lights.RedLight. And then we're setting the materials of these to all smooth plastic. And then we're creating a loop, and in this loop we're setting the red light to neon, and then to smooth plastic, and then the amber light to neon, and then to smooth plastic, and then the green light to neon, and then to smooth plastic. The problem is though, is that if we ran this, then the materials would change so rapidly that we wouldn't actually see them properly happening, and it'd all be a mess. So what we want to do is we want to say wait, and we're just going to set a variable called WaitTime. So we just need to set this variable up here. We're going to call it local wait time is equal to, and then I'm going to set my wait time to 6 or 4. I'm going to set the wait time to 4, and then I'm going to say wait time here, and I'm going to copy that and paste. Oh, whoops, and paste in here. So now there will be gaps in between when the lights change. And I also need to make, if you look at a traffic light, the amber light normally stays on for less time than the green and red light, so I'm just going to divide the wait time by 2 for the amber light. So if we run this, then we should have a fully working traffic light. But one last thing that I need to do is I need to make sure that all the blocks are anchored, and then we can run this. Okay, so now we have got a traffic light and it is working, so well done. You have successfully made a traffic light in Roblox Studio using variables. Hopefully you understood all this. If you didn't, then please post it down in the comments and I'll try to explain it again. Have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.